What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Brawl Stars video. Today, we're going to be talking about a very, very exciting topic, one that I really haven't gone over too much in the past few months, because I said in the last video I made on it that I wouldn't go over it again until it looked like it was either going to happen or was actually announced. And right now, I feel pretty confident in saying that if Supercell isn't just going to outright kill the game because of statistics that we don't know, that we will never have access to, then I think that the game is going global. I think it's going to be on Android, and I think it's going to be very, very soon. Let's talk about dates. Let's talk about the reason why. Let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, guys, the most important thing to mention here is the latest update, okay? The latest update has some really, really cool things, but definitely not any groundbreaking things, okay? And this could be because they just haven't had a lot of time to work on the latest update. I mean, it's been about a month since the last one, so we're definitely not expecting too many crazy features or improvements or anything like that. But they did say that they weren't going to devote resources, and this is the biggest point that I want to make in this entire video. They were not going to be devoting resources to making, new skins and new things that would keep the general player base, of veteran players that have been around since the beginning of the game, since day one, devoted to the game. They're trying to work on things that are going to boost retention of early game players. Well, the latest update has 4 new skins, which they said they weren't even going to be focusing on until they felt like the game was in a good place. Now, that is fantastic already. That is really, really, really reassuring. That means that they feel like it's in a good enough place that they can start working on new ways of sort of monetizing the game, making it so maybe the retention doesn't need to be boosted that significantly high. Maybe it doesn't need to be, to the point maybe where Clash Royale was. Maybe that's going to be their, mark where they consider it a success, or, if it's below that, it's a failure. If it's above that, it's a, ridiculous success. So let's just say that that's it, that it's below average as far as retention is concerned. But if we have these new skins that are just fantastic, we have the brand new Crow skin, Phoenix Crow, which is amazing. We've got some brand new skins for Jesse. We've got a brand new skin for Frank. There's some really awesome skins, and they've sort of messed with the pricing structure on everything. They've made it so you can get free gems actually from just opening up Brawl boxes. So they're sort of messing with the monetization of the game, making it so maybe it can be a little more profitable per person on average, and that would sort of push out the necessity for the higher retention rate. And obviously they're still going to be going for that. I don't know how the statistics actually look, and nobody does except for Supercell themselves, so we can never really judge them on that and sort of interpret that information because we don't have access to it. But what we can do is look at what they're doing right now and the reasons that are possible for why they're doing it. So first and foremost, the skins rebalance and everything, I think that that's probably because they were looking at, 100, maybe not enough people were buying gems to get 100 gem skins, maybe there weren't enough people getting those skins in general because they were at 100 gems, so they decided to reduce it to 80. And then 300, for a legendary skin, for something with new animations and new models and new attack and everything, maybe that's going to be the realistic benchmark for really unique, really cool skin that has unique features to it. So I think that there's a lot to look at as far as that's concerned, and there's probably a lot more information I could glean from that and sort of interpret from that. But the main thing is that they're working on skins now. They're working on cosmetics. They're working on things that are going to make the general veteran player, that's been around again since day one, enjoy the game, go back to old characters. Maybe they aren't playing those brawlers as much. Obviously Frank's a little bit of a newer case, so that's probably not the best example, but Jesse's been around and Crow's been around since the beginning. So definitely going to go out on a limb here and say that those are going to boost the usage rates for those characters probably pretty significantly, at least for the time being. And there's a lot of new information they can sort of take from those new skins. So it's probably more of an experiment than anything else, but I'm actually really excited about it because it definitely points towards a global release happening sooner rather than later. And see, they've mentioned it a few times in past Brawl Talks. Early Brawl Talks, they mentioned they had a list of things that they wanted to implement into the game before they even considered a global launch decision. And then they also mentioned in later Brawl Talks, towards probably about the 6-month mark, that they weren't going to be focusing on cosmetics or anything like that because that's something that's falling way down towards the bottom of the list as far as things that they need to implement before global release. More skins are great and everything like that. More maps are great, and obviously that's fantastic. But you know, the game modes and the actual brawlers themselves, and new quality of life features, whether that be, you know, a friends list, or more implementing I guess better social features and all that good stuff. Maybe band features and things like that. Game rooms being a little bit more intuitive and allowing you to queue up with your friends and everything like that. Friendly game battles and spectating and all that stuff. There's all of the things that I've mentioned here, and so much more were things that were above skins and cosmetics on the list of things that they wanted to implement into the game based on importance, based on how significant it was going to be towards pushing them towards a global launch decision. So right now, you know, going to sort of a schedule, I do think that they are looking like they're going towards a global launch decision sooner rather than later. Now, what do I mean by sooner rather than later? Because there are a few ways you can take that. So if I had to point out a month where I think it's going to be coming out, I would point out September. And the reason for that is basically it comes with two reasons. So the first reason is because obviously the Brawl Stars team has been pushing out a lot of content lately. You know, we've seen an update last month, we got an update this month, and they've been working really hard on getting a lot of new stuff for us to do, whether that's skins, whether that's maps, whether that's whatever. You know, there's a lot of new features that have come out in the past month, and a lot of things that they've worked on and implemented in the past month. So I'm really hyped about that, and I think that that's probably a good indicator that they are, you know, pushing up the clock. They're trying to get a lot of the statistics ironed out. They're trying to iron out retention, make it the best that it can possibly be. There's a lot of indicators that they're looking towards global release right now, but the thing is, and then we're going to go towards this next point right now for why I think it's going to be September, is that they take all of July off. In Finland, it is customary to take off a month in the summer as a vacation, as, you know, a relaxation period where you just sort of gather your bearings, you let your mind rest, and you get right with yourself. You know, it's basically something that I wish the rest of the world could adopt in some form. That would be absolutely fantastic, you know. But anyways, it's definitely a really solid thing for them. You know, obviously they've been working very hard, but it means that for all of July, likely we are not going to be seeing any updates at all, or any, you know, real communication or anything like that, most likely anyways, because they're going to be off on vacation, enjoying their lives and having a good time with it. You know, they've got their free time. They've been working hard all year, 11 months out of the year. They're going ham, you know. But like, this 1 month is going to be their month off to take a break and relax. And, you know, I think that we should respect that. But at the same time, it does mean that we need to be realistic about our expectations, which means that July will not count towards the month of game development that, you know, we would expect in a 3-month game development cycle for an update. So that means that we're probably looking at, you know, a couple months once they get back, as far as, you know, developing another update, maybe even 3 months, so maybe even pushing it back to October. But I do think that if we're going to be seeing a global release at any point by, you know, the end of the year, it's probably going to be in September. That way they can sort of build up the player base, build up all the people playing it and getting esports ready and everything like that. And then guys, the holiday season kicks in just a couple months later. It's going to be absolutely insane, I'm sure. And that's when I'd imagine it'll be, you know, really taking off, because obviously the holidays are crazy for mobile games. All the kids are home from school for the holidays. You know, everybody's hanging out, and, you know, even though it's obviously family time and everything, we're all hanging out with family, you know, you're going to be playing games on your phone and just hanging out and maybe watching Christmas shows. And, you know, again, it's a lot of home time. It's a lot of cold, you know, you're indoors, you're chilling out, you're playing games, you're having a good time with it. So obviously Brawl Stars is going to be very big around that point, again, assuming that it's not dead by then. But I don't think it's going to be heading there. I think that they're pretty darn close to clicking the button and going global, you know, just based on what I'm interpreting. Again, not including any information you guys don't know. I'm totally going off of just what I'm interpreting from public news, you know. And I'm very confident at this point that based on what they've implemented with the latest update, we're going to be seeing an Android and a global release sometime in the next probably about 4 months. But I'm going to say September is my estimate for when we're going global. But otherwise, guys, that's going to be about it for this one. If you have any ideas for when this game is going to be going global, let me know down in the comment section below. Would love to hear it. If you think that I missed something, if you think that, you know, maybe they'll do it earlier, maybe they'll do it later, you have reasons why, drop them below. I love having discussions with you guys on things like this, especially such a significant thing. Like, I've been working obviously very hard on content, as well as many other Brawl Stars creators for this game, and we've been going through thick and thin with it, making content, you know, day in and day out. And it's really exciting that we might actually be going global. We might actually be having, you know, a significant community to play the esports of it, to enjoy the game, to enjoy the casual and the competitive sides of it, and the YouTube content that goes with it, and everything to go along with Brawl Stars and this fantastic community that we've curated and continue to build on over time. It's very, very exciting being someone that's been so involved with it. So again, I can't thank you guys enough for sticking around for so long, even though, you know, obviously it's went far past whenever most of us thought it was going to be going global at this point in beta. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Have a fantastic day, and until the next one, guys, peace.